The standoff between the Mamata Banerjee government and junior doctors protesting the rape and murder of their colleague at Kolkata's Arjikar Medical College and Hospital last month has intensified. Now, Mamata Banerjee, in fact, has offered to resign after a delegation of 32 doctors camped outside the state secretariat refused to enter and meet the West Bengal Chief Minister. The impasse now is over the doctors' demand for this entire meeting with the Chief Minister to actually be televised. The Chief Minister was made to wait for 2 hours. She said she forgives them. Now, the Supreme Court had, remember, left it to the West Bengal government to deal with the striking doctor. So, what's really happening as far as this entire case is concerned? Let's go right across to my colleague Saurabh Gupta, who's joining us with the very latest. Saurabh, you were at that press conference. Break it down for us. Mamata Banerjee, they're offering to resign after clearly there's been no breakthrough. We're also putting out those very dramatic visuals of that empty auditorium and Mamata Banerjee who was made to wait for 2 hours.
Well, this seems to be a situation where a meeting called to resolve issues for doctors, safety and security of doctors, and also the other issues that the Supreme Court itself has flagged and asked the state government to ensure that security and safety is maintained, has not happened because one group insisted on a live streaming. Now, obviously, this is something that the Chief Minister also said, that we didn't want a live streaming simply because this is a matter that's sub judice, that, that we were willing to do an entire recording and share it with them and share it with the court as well. But the doctors did not come for this meeting. They waited outside. The Chief Secretary had mentioned 15 people initially. 32 people came. The government accepted, okay, 32 people can come in. The Chief Minister reached the venue and waited for 2 hours, more than 2 hours actually, while these doctors were outside. They did not meet the Chief Minister. They insisted on a live streaming. And that's where, of course, the bone of contention was initially, and it continued, and they did not meet. And the Chief Minister said that some of them wanted to meet, but they were getting calls from someone that do not meet. And then, of course, she made a very big statement. She said there has been a lot of, maligning of me on social media. There has been misinformation. There has been slander. And people came out on the streets for justice, but there is political color. They don't want justice, they want chair. And therefore, she said, I am willing to resign in the interest of the people. I am not wanting, I do not want the Chief Minister's post. Now, that is a huge statement for someone like Mamata Banerjee. And of course, the message is very clear from her.
Yes.
She has said, keep the doors for discussion open to the authorities. But Mamata Banerjee also making her point.
All right. Saurabh, thanks very much for joining us with that update. We're going to keep tracking the details of this story with you. Let's now shift our focus to the other big story that we're tracking tonight. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has met President Putin in Moscow and is believed to have briefed the president about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Ukraine visit. Mohammad Ghazali joins us on the broadcast with all the latest information on this story. Ghazali, what more can you tell us? NSA Doval, of course, there on the sidelines of the NSA BRICS meet. What happened in that meeting?
So, Mr. Putin met with Mr. Doval, and Mr. Doval informed him that last month when Prime Minister was in Kyiv, Mr. Doval was one of the persons who was attending that meet, though he was privy with the developments and he was carrying Prime Minister Modi's message, which a possible or a probable peace plan which could bring both the parties on table and could resolve the conflict. And that is when Mr. Putin responded that he wants Prime Minister Modi to come for BRICS summit, which is there on 22nd of this month later, and also proposed that there could be a bilateral meet with the Prime Minister once he arrives in Moscow for the meet. And that shows the kind of peace proposal or the message which Mr. Modi conveyed was warmly received by Mr. Putin, and that is why he has proposed for next round of meeting with Prime Minister Modi, who had earlier travelled to Moscow and then Kyiv. And also it is very significant, Rishika, because Prime Minister Modi happens to be one of the very rare leaders in the world right now who has managed to speak and visit the capitals of both the countries which are in conflict for the last more than 2 years.
All right, thanks very much, Ghazali, for joining us with all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates.